Happy Friday. I'm so hyped. It's Friday. I hope y'all are having I hope y'all had a good week. I hope you are just as excited as I am that it is the weekend. So not only is it a wrap for the Colorado Buffalo class of 2024 players, the Shrine Bowl wrapped up this week. It was the last bowl game that the players were expected to play in. And it's the end of the week. So yeah, I'm excited. So welcome. Today, I want to talk about the Shrine Bowl. So last night we were live, friends and family, live on What She Said podcast, and we streamed the game. So there's a podcast out there that's like 3 hours long. If you're doing some cleaning or on the road like Angela was, just press play and be entertained. There's always hidden gems in the podcast, especially if they are 3 hours long, because clearly there's something to talk about. I think yesterday we touched on Pat Mahomes' brother Jackson. Yeah. So go check it out. It's 3 hours long, but hey, if you got the time, press play. So welcome back. I don't generally go live at this time. This is a new time slot for me. The last time I went live in this day part, it was an emergency. They were hating on Coach Prime. Talking about something I haven't heard anybody mention since, so we're just going to push past it. So today, I'm trying out this time slot. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, let's get going. All right, so the Shrine Bowl was last night, and it was a blowout. 25-0, the East dominated. Now, our team, the white jerseys, played for the West. Now, shout out to, I guess it's the defensive coordinator, no, special teams coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, who held it down as the head coach for the East and dominated. And this was not his first time, I understand, coaching in the Shrine Bowl, nor was it his first time winning. So I just want to send a special message to Coach Maurice White. You need to start looking for head coaching job, sir. You had 1 week to put together a squad of athletes from here and there, various universities, and they played like a championship team. They held it down. Nothing's perfect, but they capitalized off the mountain of turnovers. There were turnovers on both sides, but the West didn't capitalize on any turnovers. They couldn't get in field goal range. It was just abysmal. But the Colorado Buffs players shined. Of course, there's some players on the East that shine too. But I want to talk about our guys, okay? So first, let's talk about Jimmy. I heard y'all been looking for Jimmy Horn Jr. You say you didn't see him last night. People were worried. I kept saying, okay, is it going to be the second half? Is it going to be the third quarter, the fourth quarter? And there were several posts last night after the game that suggested that Jimmy was one of the players because his stock elevated during practice. He didn't have to play, or he was asked not to play. I saw it multiple times last night. I can't 100% confirm it, but I was on Jimmy's stories today. Jimmy Horn Jr., if you're wondering, yes, that was me, What She Said, showing love per usual, making sure all is well, and just trying to confirm if that's what it was. But that's what I believe it to be, because Kyle McCord was on the practice team as a quarterback from Syracuse. I didn't see an orange helmet suit up as quarterback last night. Kobe Bryant, number 2 from Kansas, sideline, dressed in his jersey. Didn't see him play last night. So these players were already kind of on the upswing in terms of their draft stock. So basically, they allowed time for other players who could use the time to play to do so. Now, Lajohntay Wester really and truly did not have to play, but I'm glad he did. I'm really glad he did. And Lajohntay, in my opinion, is NFL ready. Okay. Jimmy Horn Jr., NFL ready. And Will Shepherd, NFL ready. Anybody that wants to argue, you got to go argue with your mother. Okay. Those 3 right there are GTG, good to go. And we'll have later podcasts talking about where they're going to go, etc. I think most of the Buffs that played in the Shrine Bowl Honestly, I somewhere in the second round. Remember, there's 32 picks per round, at least the first and the second. That's 64 people. So that's what I think. But we'll talk about that later. So Lajohntay has an ace up his sleeve. He is not just a wide receiver, he is a punt return specialist. Therefore, he played, I would say, 3/4 of the game. Now, what I didn't particularly care for was the quarterback play. And they rotated and they rotated and they rotated. And on the podcast, we were talking about how we were truly missing Shedeur Sanders, and it would have been great to see him take a couple snaps. But I get it. I get it. I get it. And maybe Kyle McCord, I would have been happy too. The quarterback play was just not there. In fact, I think because there were so many turnovers, I think these quarterbacks were getting frazzled. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, nerves, makes mistakes mixed with nervousness on top of mistakes and turnovers and fumbles. It's like they got extremely conservative and rarely threw to the wide receivers. They just threw like Taj Brooks from Texas Tech. Shout out to Taj Brooks. They were throwing to him, not passing off to him. He's running back. They were throwing to him. So the tight ends, the receivers didn't really get looks because I think these guys were afraid after all of these mistakes combined with their nerves and maybe not good coaching, not good play calling. It was just terrible. If our guys were not in that game, I probably would have turned the television off. In fact, I plan to watch the Senior Bowl at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I need to make up for this. I need some good football. So I'm going to try that and see what happens. Now, the East made up for it in this game, but I need a do-over in terms of like a Senior Bowl. So I want to go and watch that game. But our guys managed to do what they do. Lajohntay Wester on the opening kickoff, one heck of a kickoff, but there was a penalty, right? So he lost 10 yards. I think he ran it back to the 35, then he got pushed back to the 25. But that didn't go against Lajohntay. So the individual performances for Lajohntay, stellar. I maintain Lajohntay Wester is a late first round draft pick. I've said that multiple times. I'm going to keep saying shout out to Lajohntay Wester, late first round draft pick. Will Shepherd, beautiful pass. Will Shepherd, I think maybe because of the size of his frame, and the way he twists and bends to catch the ball, his catches are like artful. It's artistic almost, just beautiful. And they talked about it yesterday. Just beautiful catches. And he did well. He will definitely be drafted. I said that last night. You're not leaving this big body, more than capable receiver with these catches. You're not leaving that out of the draft. So I think he'll be drafted. Also, I'm going to give him somewhere in the second round. Jimmy Horn Jr., late first, second round as well, because they were so impressed with Jimmy. They were like, okay, he could come off the board a lot sooner than anticipated. And this is from scouts overall. Now, remember, scouts have been at Colorado all season long. So, they have that to go with, in addition to watching him ball out. And he's going to the combine. Lajohntay also going to the combine. So let's move on to Shilo. All right. So if you were shocked that Shilo balled out, performed well, I said he hustled. If you were shocked by that, it's because you believed the hatred. In fact, yesterday on my podcast, I said, I hope that Shedeur and Shilo are not on social media because the hate was just ramping up absolutely for no reason. Then what happens? He goes, he plays, he hustles, he does well. He does well. He did well. He balled out. And in my opinion, I also think Shilo is a second round draft pick. Don't know if high, middle, low. I don't really think it matters. But I know he'll be drafted, and I just predict the second round. Remember, Colorado had an elite wide receiver corps. So to me, that's a no-brainer for the receivers. And do not forget, Shilo Sanders was the hardest hitting safety in college football last year. And after a broken arm injury, came back and had to recover from, like he said, the worst game of his life. And it put him on notice. There are things that you have to do, after an injury like that. And he 10 toes down and he did it. So it's not a surprise, because if you watch Shilo, I think it was a Cincinnati game, the first play off the rip, quarterback blitz. I said then, if Shilo is drafted and this is all he does, blitz the quarterback, the NFL would get their money's worth, because y'all know he's a hard hitter. He doesn't just get to the quarterback and just like grab his arm or whatever. No, he takes him down. And essentially, he had pass breakups yesterday. Oh, he was trying to take somebody down yesterday, but the guy was resisting. But you could see Shilo was getting in his zone. Go watch the highlights. If you haven't seen the highlights, go check out the highlights from the Shrine Bowl for the guys that played. Now, I didn't see Cameron Stillman Craig play, and on the podcast, we looked for him multiple times. Come to find out, he wasn't even dressed out. So just like Kobe Bryant, it looks like Cameron Stillman Craig didn't play because, we want to give that time to people who maybe need that time to elevate their draft stock. That's essentially what these games are about. People refer to it as an all-star game. And just like an all-star game, you don't want your key players that you get ready to draft, to possibly injure themselves, which is why Shedeur Sanders didn't play. He was also requested to not play. So I saw headlines that say he opted out, but he was asked not to play as well. So that's our guys. And now they're going their respective directions, getting ready for the draft. And actually coming up first is the combine. So the NFL combine is February 27th. It's televised. I will be live during that time. And I can't wait to see how the guys do. I mean, I think they'll do well. And then for the guys that are not going to the combine, I think we'll hear about them working out, training. In fact, Chidozie Nwankwo, I'm proud of Chidozie. He got his social media. It's up. Go check out Chidozie's page. It's under his name. He's showing the day, and I watched his day in the life of getting ready for the NFL draft. He's training. It looks like he's in Colorado at one of these fitness facilities. And his social media is up. It's up. This is what you have to do. So for the guys, whether you went to the Shrine Bowl or not, we know Shedeur, Shilo, they have social media. Jimmy has social media. I don't know about Cameron Stillman Craig, but I'm sure he's probably on it as well. And not just for the Buffs, but like if you are getting ready for the draft in any capacity, whether you think you're going to be a walk-on, undrafted free agent, you got to get that social media up. You got to get that social media up. And I'm proud of Chidozie. His YouTube page is going. People are hanging on because, for one, he's a Buff. And then we're still getting a chance to see him. And we're watching him train. He's actually in the gym doing the workouts. I'm actually going, these are some pretty complex workouts. But nevertheless, that's what it's supposed to be when you're trying to get to the NFL. You're not supposed to just be walking on the treadmill. So it's really good. And he's training with other people. There are other people around. So I hope we kind of see this from Shilo. I hope we see it from Cameron Stillman Craig. I hope we get to see Jimmy Horn Jr. train. But you got to get that social media up. And shout out to Chidozie. I think what he's doing a day in the life, getting ready for the NFL draft, is the prototype. Get on it, guys. Get on it. We'll be there to watch. We'll be there to watch, comment, subscribe, and cheer y'all on all the way. So we're not at the finish line just yet. We're just finished our time at CU. Welcome. I see some of my faves are back. Gracie, half of the best duo of moderators out there. Thank you, Gracie. Thank you. And Miss Mel, thank you, Uptown. Thank you. Say, hey, glad I caught your chat live. Thank you. Glad you were able to join us. I know this was an unannounced live stream, but I'm trying out this day part too. So I really wanted to talk about the Shrine Bowl. I kind of hung back and let people, kind of get out there and say what they wanted to say. And I'm like, you know what? Let me speak to certain things. In fact, I saw one podcast that said somebody thought that the Buffs were cheated. I'm like, or done dirty. I'm like, no. honestly, all the Buffs were on one team. I kind of wish they were split up now, but they were all on the West. And the quarterback play, just the play calling, the play itself. I mean, honestly, the offense really didn't really get a chance to do much because the defense, Shilo was on defense. He was the only person on defense because we just said Cameron Steele McCrae was not dressed out. So Shilo was on the field a lot. And I saw one comment that said Shilo didn't play well. I'm like, I don't know what you were watching and what your expectation is. Shilo balled out. And he balled out in practice. I even heard him say to his dad, I made some money today. And he made some money yesterday. And for those people that don't understand business, I don't know if y'all noticed, but the cameras, everybody wanted to interview Shilo. That goes into it as well. Your likability, your ability to be that media person. You don't think whatever teams, if Shilo comes to Atlanta, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? It's on. It's on. So I don't care what team he goes to, but if he comes to any team near the Atlanta region, it is on. Y'all know Coach Prime is legendary. So to have one of his sons in the city, we already know. Well, I do. I already called it. I called it a couple of days ago. Raiders will trade up to the Brown spot. We talked about this on the podcast and get Shedeur at number 2. So for those people thinking Shedeur's falling to the second round, that is absurd. Yes, it has been said. They have some people associated with the NFL Network actually had Cam Ward, and yes, we're friends with Cam Ward, had Cam Ward going number 8. So you can't believe everything you hear. It's a lot of hatred out there towards Shedeur and Shilo, honestly, just because they are Sanders. And there are people that do not want to see Coach Prime get what he wants. Both of his immensely talented sons drafted into the NFL. It's okay for other people to do it, but nobody wants Coach Prime to do it. So you even could see Shilo asking a coach to throw to him because he didn't have anybody to throw to him. Very personable, very coachable. There was an interview after the game. People from Jackson State interviewed Shilo. Shilo was interviewed by several people before, during, afterwards the game when he wasn't playing. And the guy asked Shilo, when you go to the gas station, what are you getting for snacks? Now, maybe to me, if you ask me that, I'm going to QT and getting a Pepsi and a Reese's cup and a Twix. That's my snack. Now, what did I just rattle off? 3 brands, right? Shiloh's conscious of you asking him about something, getting him to give out free promo for a brand he's not attached to. That's a businessman. Secondly, you asked him if when he go to the gas station, he drives a Cyber Beast. People didn't know how to take their response. Hello, it's 2025. He drives a Cyber Beast. What is he going to the gas station for? And somebody asked him about it again. So he kind of expanded on his answer. He said, well, he said, I do drive a Cyber Beast, so I wouldn't even go to the gas station. He said, now, if you ask me if I were going to have some snacks DoorDashed, what would I get? I'm like, there you go. There you go. See, running to the gas station for snacks isn't something that everybody does. And if you drive a Cybertruck, you're likely not going to get snacks from the gas station. And the fact that he said, if you ask me if I want to get them DoorDash, how many of y'all know somebody? Everything they get is DoorDash. I know I Amazon it up. Everything I pretty much get. I move from one city to the other. I had so much stuff Amazon. New stuff. When I wanted new stuff, Amazon. Practically the whole kitchen. So when he said DoorDash, I'm like, there you go. See, they thought, I don't know if they thought he was trying to flex on them or what, but they couldn't relate to him because, like he's saying, I drive a Cyber Beast, so I'm not going to the gas station. And then secondly, I'm going to have my snacks DoorDash. It's people get Oreos sent to the house. So I'm just going to go ahead on and put it out there. That's what this generation does. They love DoorDash. Y'all let me know if y'all know somebody that love the DoorDash. And DoorDash doesn't just bring snacks anymore. They bring other stuff too. So let's see who's in the comments. It's on and popping. It's on and popping. Shilo did his thing. From what I saw, the haters gonna hate. That's all it is. And he addressed that. Shilo addressed that. He said, there are just people out there just hating for no reason. And I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's it. And he did say it gets annoying. And I bet it does. That's why I said, I hope they're not on social media this week. Because I know sometimes during game week, Shador wasn't on social media. And really, that's the best way to approach it. When you have something big coming up and you're trying to focus and you know people are going to hate on you, just turn it off. You could always get back to social media, but just put it away, and like Cat Williams said, I mean, your goal is to get 16 haters by the summer, because if you don't have no haters, it ain't on and popping. So that's how you know. Shador and Shilo get hated on because they are Sanders. They are both immensely talented. And some people actually say that they believe Shilo actually has a touch of genius. I believe he does too. When you listen to him talk, when you interact with him, when you understand that he's a musical prodigy, he plays the piano, he produces music, he writes music. And a list of all the other things that he does, he's a skier. We've seen him act. He's good at that. It seems like, and I heard Coach Prime say this when they were on the family show, the reality show. He said Shilo can do anything he wants to do. He's not kidding. Anything he picks up, he excels at. Because when it comes go time, nobody can deny it, outside of a broken arm and coming back from it, that Shilo is a beast. He's a beast. So if you're shocked that he did well, that means you believe the hype or the hatred. It's not even hype. Don't even believe the hatred. Go look at Shilo's YouTube page. Go look at his social media just to see how gifted and talented he is and how dedicated he is. I mean, for somebody to come from a family, where the father's legendary, one of the brothers, then Bucky's legendary in his own space, Shilo's legendary at what he does. He could just kick back and coast off the family coattails. No, he's dedicated. He has his own dreams. He's passionate about the game. And when it's go time, he balls out. He's good. So hopefully we can put the hate behind us, and hopefully we'll get to see Shilo train. I mean, after all the hatred, he might not want to. All right, let's check the comments. It says, Gracie says, my husband uses Amazon so much, I should be a full-fledged owner. I know that's right, Gracie. I know that's right. I mean, honestly, if I want something, I order face wipes off Amazon. I could easily get up and go, somewhere up the road. I'm not saying where, and get it. I get face wipes, mouthwash, Listerine breast strips, laundry detergent. Yeah, I get all of that from Amazon. It comes to the house in a box. Matter of fact, I have boxes right now by the front door waiting to be crushed. So we're just living in different times. When you want snacks, running to the gas station is not your option. When you drive a Cyber Beach, chances are you're going past the gas station. I mean, so I don't blame Shilo for his answer. And in fact, I like the person that actually came behind him, asked him about it again, and he had an opportunity to expound on it. And it just makes perfect sense. We live in modern times where you can have Oreos DoorDash to your house if that's what you want. All right, so let's see what we have. Ms. Mel, it's really sad to see the hate. Yup. Right, that interview was crazy. Yeah, and it's like the guy didn't understand Shilo's perspective. I'm like, so you are not relatable. You don't understand your audience. Shilo is your audience. You're choosing to interview him, but you can't relate to what he's saying. That's crazy. And then it says, protect your mental health. Yes, that's why I think these guys, I know they have to have the social media out there, but they need to prioritize, their interactions. Like, maybe respond to people that only follow you. Don't engage in people trying to bait you into anything. People are going to continuously say he's not getting drafted. There are people like he's not getting drafted. He's going undrafted, or he's going in the 7th round. I'm like, okay, there are players that have been drafted off the strength of a sophomore or a junior season. Shilo was the hardest hitting safety last year, and this year, before and after an injury, he balled out. When Shilo was gone, I never forget, we were all, watching the game, like on somebody's live stream or whatever, talking about, oh my God, we missed his speed, the ability for him to chase down the defender. It wasn't just the hard hitting. So whatever he works on, I'm sure, Coach Prime knows what Shilo needs to work on. But that goes for everybody that was out there. That even for the guy that was the MVP, shout out to him. He played for Arizona. And I kept saying, did we play Arizona? And how come I don't remember this guy? I was like, because he balled out. Number 31, Croxy Merritt, he balled out. So shout out to him. He played for the winning team, 25-0. And then his counterpart, I think, I don't know what school he went to, number 20. O'Donnell Future, that was his name. He won as well. So the guys on the winning team, they balled out. They weren't perfect either, but the point is they came together as a squad. They had all the ingredients. They had good players. They had good coaching, good play calling. That's what it is. They played some good football. So it said Shador and Shilo are the most talented out of the Sanders siblings. I believe he can do it all. Yeah. I think they're all talented, to be honest. I just think they have different gifts. Like what Bucky has done with media. I mean, it makes him an innovator. And I remember when he was, trying to figure out what it is he wanted to do after football. And when he said he started shooting on his iPhone. So they just have different gifts. And Bucky's strength is knowing how to tell a story digitally. And that's why people just hang on. Hey, when are you dropping another video? I mean, sometimes like when they, go away on vacation or whatever, you really miss that. And it's not just point and shoot. It's knowing how to capture a story and tell it through media. And that's something he's good at, something he's really good at. And I think he'll be doing more for CU next year. And I was thinking Colorado should do this if they don't have it already. So BYU, they have their media like a podcast. So there's a podcast for BYU where they interview all athletes on this podcast. So imagine somebody from BYU having a podcast and the university say, hey, bring this in-house. So we're not just interviewing, how we get daily videos from the football team. They're doing it with the ski team, the basketball team. There's dedicated hosts, but they're guests across all athletics. I like that. I think if CU doesn't have that, Bucky should definitely spearhead that and get that done for CU. And I think it would be great for the entire university. It's not just about football. Of course, Bucky's responsibility primarily is football, but they could scale that and expand it to the other departments and then do it as a central podcast for CU athletics. Just come up with a little creative name. But no, Bucky's talented. I think all of the talented. DeAndrea, his daughter, she is a wonderful mother. Sometimes when, women have a baby, they go from looking like a young girl to a mother like that. And it's something about them being nurturing, caring, so we all have different gifts and different roles to play. The younger baby, she went off to, she went to Jackson State. Then she went to CU, and you see she's back at a HBCU. So HBCU really seems to fit her. And I see her stories. I'm like, okay, she's living her best HBCU life. So, we don't know what her gift will be, but I think they all are talented. I just think they have different gifts. I was seeing so many hateful comments about Shilo. Yeah. And, he said it. It gets annoying. So they just have to do what they have to do to protect their mental health. Gracie says, I'm so impressed by the fortitude that Shilo and Shador both show when these people come at them with all the BS. Just amazes me that somebody as young as they are, they don't react. Yeah, they don't. And people wonder, why they're reserved when someone approaches them. I mean, when you get hated on incessantly for just nothing. I mean, like Shilo said, I didn't do anything to anybody. And to be young and to have to deal with that, that's why they're so reserved, because you don't know when people approach you, how their demeanor, how they're going to act. Are they coming for good? Are they coming for bad? So, to me, they both are right to be reserved. And to me, that's why Bucky's also so protective. And I'm glad they have him. That's one reason why I was like, you know what? I wonder if Shilo and Shador should go to the same team. I mean, not that they need it, but the amount of hate that they get, it just seems like if they're both in the locker room, on the same team, it would just be better. But maybe they don't need that. I don't know. That's just the nurturing side of me. So, but no, I agree with you, Gracie. So, I don't know what's next for like Lajohntay, where he's going to train, but I would hopefully we get a chance to see. He has good social media too, and I think he has somebody in his life that is like that's like a content creator or a social media creative director or something like that. And if that's the case, then I'm thinking maybe we'll get to see more Lajohntay. So y'all go follow Lajohntay's IG and see if he has like a YouTube page. Cam Ward, I thought he said he was getting a YouTube page, and I haven't found it yet, but it's probably out there. I just been so busy. And of course, Jimmy Hart Jr., he has active social media, but I don't know if Jimmy has a YouTube page. Well, we can see if they're training. But yeah, Chidozie is the standard for what to do the day in the life, getting ready for the NFL draft. So y'all look for those pages. There'll probably be more of them out there. And then eventually we'll start talking about like what teams they're going to. I kind of think somebody's coming to Atlanta. I was thinking maybe Shilo or maybe Will Shepherd. I'm not sure. The coach for the team that won, I guess that's the East. He was the special teams coordinator. And Lajohntay plays, he was really good at kick return and being a receiver. So I don't know. I kind of get that hunch. I feel like somebody gonna end up in Atlanta. So we'll have to, talk about that more as we get into it. Did y'all see Shador do his interview for his podcast, Too Legendary? Where he was talking about his birthday coming up. So apparently his birthday is like the 7th of February, and then Shilo is like the 10th. So their birthdays are right there together, even though they're different ages, but their birthdays are right there together. And he was saying if people don't give him nothing for his birthday, he was going to be upset. It's this amazing because he's so calm and quiet. You shocked that he felt that way, but he has some intensity in his voice. So y'all go watch his Too Legendary podcast. And I did check out a little bit of Travis Hunter's podcast, his interview with Jordan Seaton. So I saw like the beginning of it. I didn't get a chance to get through it. Did anybody see that podcast, Jordan Seaton and Travis Hunter on the Travis Hunter show? Let's see. It said, yeah, I saw that. Was that not funny? Miss Mel, he was intense. He was like, I'm gonna feel I'm gonna feel some kind of way if I don't get nothing. I mean, he just feel like, and he said there wouldn't be no family trips, everybody going doing their own thing. That's one thing I noticed about them. Everybody go their own direction. Baby girl down in Montgomery in college. DeAndre has a family, she doing her thing. Bucky does his thing. Shador does his thing. Shilo does his thing. Shilo put out an album, and the family didn't even know he was working on it. He dropped an entire album. So while they are a close-knit family, they are independent on a daily basis. No, he wasn't playing. Shador was not playing. He had some intensity in his voice. And he said, my birthday is the 7th, and Shiloh's the 10th. And if I don't get nothing, he said, and that's when Darius asked him, he said, so what do you want for your birthday? Or something like that. He said, I don't have anything in particular. He said, I'll be happy, if the gift comes from the heart. He just don't want them to act like he's not having a birthday. And I'm thinking, he's the youngest son, but he's not the youngest child. And when you have, 5 children? Maybe people get lost in there somewhere. But he was not happy. So I was like, okay, so y'all make sure y'all tell Shador happy birthday on social media. I don't think it's us he wants the birthday wishes from. But I think we should, get together as a podcast and make sure we go to his social media, his IG, and send him a bunch of happy birthday from what she said podcast family. We just want him to know we saw that podcast. And he was in the hot tub. I'm like, what was the temperature? I mean, I guess you could get in a hot tub when it's cold. I've done it in Colorado before. So yeah, it was like 19 degrees. You go get in the hot tub. And I did see steam. So it must have been pretty cold. He must have been training. No, he was not playing. All right, y'all. Well, this was a good time slot. Let me know what y'all think of it. Oh, don't forget, tonight is the night. It's game night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know this is what it looked like. There it is. That was from last week. And we had Daniel's son who came into the comments and he guessed all the answers, at least 2 of the 3 right off the beginning. So it was fun. We played, I guess, at the beginning of the at the podcast, and there was one people couldn't solve. I think that might have been it. This one right here. This is the one that people couldn't solve. So we guessed it at the end, and it was a good way to wrap it up. So tonight, we might be talking about Cam Newton tonight. So there was a NFL on ESPN on NFL about 2 hours ago. And Cam Newton, I just want to say this. Cam Newton, when he hates on Shador, it's starting to sound like a fresh set of stiletto nails screeching down the blackboard. And I just want to yell, please just stop. Please stop. You know how somebody come up to you and they keep doing like this and you like, stop, stop. That's how I feel whenever he starts talking about Shador, because I know where it's going, towards hatred. And then now in the beginning of his conversation, he tries to dress it up. Like yesterday, I think he was saying his girlfriend told him that he was too hard on Shador. I was like, okay, you only telling us you got a girlfriend because people have accused you of hating on Shador because of his girlfriend. I like, we see you, partner. We see you. So he was back at it again today. And the music is like the show was getting ready to wrap up. And you know how they get ready to zoom out. He had to sneak one in. I was like, this brother right here, he really, really, really got an issue. It said, I'm late on this game. Yeah, we played tonight at 8 p.m. So hopefully you could join us. Shador got to get his birthday shout out on the 7th. Yes. Make sure February 7th, Shador Sanders' birthday. Turn your notifications on, because if you say anything about it, that's a reminder. I'm going to try to remind you. We're going to go to his social media and we're going to flood it and we're going to wish him a happy birthday. It said you could see the steam coming from the water. Yes. That's how I knew it was cold where he was. But in Mobile, Alabama, where they have the Senior Bowl, they were at practice. They had on shorts. They had on the short jersey, like no sleeves or anything. So they were, I'm thinking it must have been pretty warm in Mobile the other day. Now, the announcers who were over to the side, they just had on like a long sleeve shirt. So I don't know what the weather was. Maybe in the sun in Alabama, it might be like Atlanta. Because when the sun come out, it doesn't feel cold. It could be 50 and it feels like it's about 60, 65. You say you late on the game. Okay, so you have to come join us. Yes, that was very cringy of Cam Newton. I'm going to just tell y'all one of the things he said. Okay. One of the things he said, this is why I'm probably going to talk about this later. He went back to the same conversation that Stephen A. redirected him from. So y'all know about 2 weeks ago on a Sunday, there was a segment entitled "Can Coach Prime Coach Another Coach?" And I talked about this. I said Stephen A. let Cam take the lead on the conversation, and Cam tried to redirect the conversation and make it about Shador Sanders. And Stephen A. looked at him with that look that, your parents give you, like, don't play with me. And he redirected the conversation and said, you asking the wrong question. I think the question you're asking is, can Coach Prime coach another QB? So today, I guess Stephen A. allowed, or maybe he snuck it in. I'm not really sure. But at one point he was talking, Stephen A. just had this look on his face and I just burst out laughing on my couch. And I said, okay, I'm going to talk about this. So as the show was wrapping up, I don't know how I know what it was. Somehow the subject came up with, that's what the segment was about, Cam Ward. It was like, is Stephen A. suggesting that Cam Ward be the number 1 draft pick over Shador, right? Now, we already talked about this. The Raiders look like they're going to trade up to number 2 and get Shador. So it's a no-brainer to say that Cam Ward is going first to Nashville. But Cam Newton was like, Shador shouldn't want to go to Nashville. I'm like, why not? Nashville's nice. I'm like, why not? He's like, Shador shouldn't want to go to Nashville. He should want to go to New York. And I was like, what? You mean the team that just let the greatest running back in the modern era walk? That's where he should go? The team whose front office just is in shambles? Why would he go there? So he was saying he should go to the Giants because it fits. This is why it fits. Because he could do like this and the entire stadium would do it. I'm like, that would happen anywhere. He could come to Atlanta and we're going to do it. He could go to Nashville. We're going to be in Nashville too. He could go to the Saints. That Saints-Falcons rivalry going to be something else. And so my point is, Cam is essentially telling me why he's jealous of Shador. Because he's popular. And his girlfriend. And then and then he my question for Cam is, do you really think the way that the Giants operate that Shador would be a good fit for the Giants? No. And on what earth should Shador base the fact that if he do like this, the fans will do it? I'm like, you don't pick. That's not how you conduct business. I'm like, see, that's one clue right there. That's not how you conduct business. He shouldn't go to the Giants just because if he does like this in New York, if that fits in New York, this fits in Vegas. So to me, I feel like he's kind of telling a little bit that his jealousy for Shador, because he snuck that in. His jealousy for Shador stems from, I guess, the fact that how popular he is at such a young age and how reserved he is. He's not cocky. He's confident. And it's obvious that you could see that Shador is confident and he don't let people bully him. Like when Cam tried to bully him when he came down to UCF. Shador is that guy. If somebody's being weird, has weird energy, you can see it. If you watch enough videos, you'll pick up on it. He gonna move on. It said that could be the case. Yeah. It said, I'm convinced Cam girlfriend got a crush on Shador. No, I think even Shador knows that Cam got a thing for Shador's girlfriend. I don't know Shador, but it's obvious because at the times that he tries to interject these weird comments that aren't based on anything, like he tried to clean it up. Oh, he should not go to Nashville because Nashville's not good. What's wrong with Nashville? And here's the thing. It doesn't matter what Nashville is right now in terms of the Titans. He's going to bring the energy. He's going to bring the energy. So it's like he's saying Shador should go to the Giants because the Giants have good energy. I'm like, but do they have a good front office? They just let Saquon Barkley walk. And in fact, they're not even looking at Shador. I think they're looking at Kyle McCord, which fits with who they starting quarterbacks look like, who they starting quarterbacks are. So to me, I feel like Cam is actually trying to set Shador up to go somewhere that he knows that he wouldn't get a fair shot to ball out. Did Saquon Barkley get it? Okay. Did they respect Saquon Barkley's talent? Well, the owner did. The owner did for sure. Did they respect it enough to try to retain him? No. So why would Shador go there? So to me, Cam is, and then he said something else, and this was crazy. He said, this is what he snuck in the end. He said, the knock on Shador is that can Shador be coached by another coach? My comment was, that's not a knock on Shador because nobody else is questioning whether or not Shador can be coached by another coach. There's no evidence that he cannot be coached by another coach, but there's evidence to support that he can because his Tom Brady has been his mentor since he was 13, 14, 15, maybe 15, 16, 17, somewhere in high school. Pat Sherman's his coach, loves him, said he's one of the best quarterbacks he ever worked with. So there's no evidence to support what Cam Newton is saying about Shedeur not being coached by another coach. He's never submitted any evidence or any agreement from a group of people, and it still wouldn't hold water if they don't have no evidence either that Shedeur cannot be coached. This is just something he keeps going back to dig at Shedeur, and he keeps sneaking it in. But today, when he said it's a knock on Shedeur, I'm like, no, it's a knock on you, because you are the only person that thinks he can't be coached by someone else, because no one else has brought up that argument. No one else has proven that this is the case. That's a knock on you. And it's jealousy. It's unfounded, unjustifiable jealousy. Somebody asked, do they have beef? No, they don't even have beef. This is Cam Newton hawking a 22-year-old seemingly about his girlfriend, and possibly jealousy due to Shedeur's popularity. It's the only thing that makes sense. So, and it just keeps on. I'm like, I don't know how long Stephen A. gonna put up with this. I'm like, because he snuck it in at the end. It's not like he said it full in the middle. It's like, that's what I meant by he keeps doing things to his detriment. So you had to sneak that in the segment, because Stephen A. told you last time, I think you asked the wrong question. So when Shedeur comes up, you know, he tried to make it look like he's on Shedeur's side. Oh, yeah, he should go to the Giants, because, you know, he could do like this. He could do that in any city with a football team, and people going to respond. He brings the energy. So he going to bring it with him to Nashville. If he go to Cleveland, which he probably going to the Raiders, he going to bring it with him to the Raiders. And we going to see how he act once he gets drafted, because he going to have something to say. And he probably going to keep leaning on this unfounded argument that nobody else is talking about, which he thinks is a hot take. Can Shedeur be coached by another coach? Yes, he already has. Nobody has ever said Shedeur is not coachable. Cam Newton is a person that keeps bringing that back up, after he tried to make it look like he's an ally of Shedeur. But if Shedeur get hacked on social media, he the number one suspect. Cam Newton, the number one suspect if anything happened to Shedeur Sanders' social media, because of the way he comes at it. It just makes absolutely no sense. And it's annoying, to be honest. It said, Cam is definitely jealous of Shedeur. Yes, he's jealous of Shedeur. And because people were saying this is about Shedeur's girlfriend, he decides, what my girlfriend said, you know, you too hard on Shedeur. I'm like, that's what she said? Because what she said was, what she should have asked him is, do you have a thing for Shedeur girlfriend? Because I noticed every time something come up about Shedeur being on vacation, or you try to throw him under the bus and say he was fooling around with some girl that used to date Bryce Young, that dated Tyrese Maxey, that dated Jalen Green. Do you have a thing for Shedeur girlfriend? Are you trying to break up his relationship? Or are you trying to make sure his girlfriend know that he was fooling around with somebody else? That's what she should have asked. It's a lot, but she should have asked it. It's a lot to launch all at one time, but they should be very valid questions. Hopefully Tom Brady and Shedeur reunion coming. Oh, for sure. They're going to get that number 2 spot. The reason why is because of the whole Deshaun Watson, and that's a whole nother podcast. Stay tuned. Turn your notifications on for that. The Deshaun Watson contract. They can't move it. It's too heavy. They likely going to trade that pick. Bet on it. That's what I'm going with. I don't see them getting the first pick from Tennessee. Even though Tennessee has another pick in the first draft, it's not till late, like 32 or something last. So you heard it here, and you heard it last week, and I'm going to reiterate it. I'm going to say it again. Vegas, I expect to get that number 2 pick from Cleveland and draft Shedeur. So Cam Newton first and Shedeur Sanders coming in second, only because Vegas can't get that number 1 pick from Tennessee. I don't see them getting off that pick. And people kept saying that Tennessee should get an edge rusher. I'm like, what? Because they have that quarterback, and he's supposed to be working on his game, but he was supposed to be working on that last year. So it seems like they're on the fence. You know, should we try it again with him? Maybe bring somebody else in and have him too. You know how they like to have a veteran around. So we shall see. But you heard it here multiple times. Raiders trade up, get the second pick from the Browns because Deshaun Watson's contract is too heavy to move. And that's where Shedeur goes to Vegas. So that's it. But yeah, no, Cam does show jealousy. And if he sat down and talked to a therapist, that's what they would tell him. They would say, you are exhibiting signs of jealousy toward this young man who has done nothing to you, But yeah, and everybody, I think what keeps happening is people keep calling him out about it. I think people are, once again, every time he does it, like when he was on his podcast, his own fans told him about it. And every time he does it, the fans go at him. But you see, he keep doing it. And now he took it to ESPN. And Stephen A had to redirect him and tell him you asking the wrong question. And then on this segment today, because Shedeur's name is going to come up, but he finds a way to be nice, nasty. That's the term. Oh, he should go to New York. Not that makes any sense at all. That makes absolutely no good business sense. That he didn't even think were business principles. He should go to New York because blah, blah, blah. Because of this. I'm like, really? And then at the end, he tried to cut him down. That's what Shilo is saying. I mean, he's not talking about Cam specifically, but that's what Shilo is saying when he says how people try to destroy you and you don't do anything. You just doing what you're supposed to be doing, minding your business, and people say things to try to destroy you. That's what Shilo said in that second interview. And I agree with him. And like he said, it's annoying. Cam Newton's hatred or jealousy of Shedeur Sanders, whether it's because he got a thing for Shedeur Sanders' girlfriend and he want to simp for her, but she don't want to give him the time of day, or if it's because he's jealous, because he's so popular, this, and that's confident, and I don't know. His time is up and he can't do it. I don't know. But the point is, it's annoying. And the fans, they don't hold back. They let him know it's annoying. So it's not a knock on Shedeur. It's not proven that he can't be coached by anybody else. And just because you keep saying it does not make it true. And that's what he keeps doing. He keeps trying to repeat. It's like he only has one thing to say about Shedeur. It's not even proven, but he keeps saying it. He keeps saying it. And he thinks because he keeps saying it, we're going to buy into it. He's waiting for Stephen A to confirm, to like co-sign it. He's waiting for Molly to co-sign it. No, Molly was just happy because he was like, well, he could go to the Giants. She liked the Giants. She not worried about where Shedeur going or whatever, So he's trying to get buy-in from people up there, but he's not. And Stephen A already told him once he asked the wrong question, and he didn't ask a question this time. He just slid it in at the end, which is what Shilo is saying. People will try to destroy you for absolutely no reason. And Cam Newton is the poster boy for trying to destroy unsuccessfully, repeatedly unsuccessfully, trying to destroy Shedeur Sanders' reputation and opportunities for absolutely no reason that makes sense to us. He has a reason, but they don't make sense to us. So it said, I'll bet if they call Cam today, he'd go to Nashville or anywhere else that might want him. Straight jealousy. Yeah, heck yeah. Heck yeah. You know he would. When he was like, oh, he should go to Nashville. I'm like, but he could go to the Giants. Why wouldn't he go to Nashville? I'm like, Nashville is beautiful. And as far as I know, and it's not like he never played for the Titans, right? Did Cam ever play for the Titans? I don't know. But the fact that he could endorse the Giants with Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl makes me question his motivation for even mentioning the Giants, other than he trying to set Shedeur up and hope he fail. That's what it is. You ever heard the concept being set up to fail? That's Cam Newton when he suggests that Shedeur go to the Giants. He trying to make sure he fail because he know it ain't gonna go down there. That's why they're not even looking at him no more. They probably never really were. Giants have never drafted a black QB. Right, exactly. Shedeur ex Myra. I don't know. I really don't know. I thought her name was Jasmine. I really don't know. Shedeur don't talk about his relationship. It'd be different if Shador, like Travis, kept putting his relationship in the public and Cam wanted to talk about it. But that's not actually the case. Shador doesn't talk about his relationship. He just said we on vacation, and it just drove Cam to this whole tirade about can he be coached by another coach? Like, where did that come from? Like, there's not one person out there who's ever said Shador is uncoachable. Not one. And no, his father's not his only coach in life. Like, he has mentors. He has Pat Schumer. There are other people. Like, that makes no sense to me. He actually got a quarterback coach, and that's something. He listens to him. Daryl Colbert Jr. In fact, he listened to him so much, and he thought so much of the guy and the guy's services that Cam Ward works out with him too. And another quarterback from Virginia Tech, Kyron, somebody. So yes, he can be coached by someone else. Daryl Colbert Jr. does a good job. That's his coach. That's his quarterback coach. I'm so glad Shador talked to the GMs and scouts, executives, team face-to-face. Yeah, Miss Mel, he talked about, I think, was it somebody interviewed one of the head coach or the GM, one of these executives from the Titans organization. They talked about how impressed they were with Shador, his maturity at his age. And, his nickname is Grown. So I was like, see, that tell you he didn't really know much about Shador because that wouldn't have been a surprise to him. So Shador being mature is something people, have always said from when he was a little kid, from when they had their show. That's been his nickname. I think they said that's how it's saved in Coach Prime phone. So he said he was very impressed with Shador. He liked Shador. He said he enjoyed talking to him, actually. So I forgot who it was that interviewed him, but they did like him. But to me, I feel like the Giants never really said they were interested in Shador. I felt like, maybe behind the scenes, I felt like it was the media pushing that. Like, you had these analysts, these experts, oh, he should go to the Giants. And I felt like the same reason, the same motivation that Cam Newton has for Shador going to the Giants is the same motivation these other analysts have. Because it didn't matter if the Giants moved up or down or whatever. They just had Shador going to the Giants, and it made absolutely no sense. It's not a secret. They've never had a black starting quarterback. It's not a secret that Saquon Barkley was allowed to, to go test the waters as if he wasn't the best running back in the modern era. It's not a secret. I heard that the front office been put on notice by the ownership. So why would I go there? Why would you suggest that he go there? Because you think, because you know how they get down, that he gonna fail. So you try to play nice nasty when you want to set him up to fail. Would you say no, he didn't? Cam got to read the room. Yeah, he got to read the room and start making business decisions. Talking about he should go there because of this. That made absolutely no sense. I'm so glad Shador talked to the GMs. Yeah, me too. What you say, Gracie? You say no, he didn't. What were you talking about? Clyde, welcome. What she said, remember when Cam had visited Colorado, Shador and Travis ignored Cam? You could tell being ignored hurt him. That was when they went to UCF in Orlando. And absolutely, Clyde, factual. Yeah, and he actually, and here's what was crazy about that, right? He threw Shador under the bus with his woman, in my opinion, saying that, and he threw Bryce Young under the bus. He threw Tyrese Maxey under the bus. He threw Jalen Green under the bus. He threw the woman. He put her picture on his social media, on his podcast. He threw all of these people who were involved in this alleged situation that we didn't know about, nor did we need to know about. Because why? He wanted to tell somebody that Shador had possibly been involved with somebody else. He didn't give a timeline or anything. He just said Bryce Young's girlfriend left him for Tyrese Maxey, and she messed around, dated, whatever, Jalen Green and Shador Sanders. I'm like, okay, this is why we here. This is why we here. You said all of that because you wanted somebody to get out. That, and I heard that they supposedly broke up, and I think maybe they got back together. But the point is, he's in his 30s. Can you imagine being like 35 with like 8 children. And you out here being messy, talking about what 22 and 23-year-olds got going on. I can't imagine sitting on this podcast coming to tell y'all something that you don't even know and probably don't have no interest in, because what they got to do with me? Like, it's not like he was involved in it or they tried to get him involved in it. He just told us what other people had going on. And men, women too, but men called him messy and said he was too old for that and that he was a salty OG. That's what it seemed like. So now he's saying his girlfriend, his whatever, his girlfriend is telling him that he's being too hard on Shador. So how many messages do you have to get before you just stop? Because she was being polite, if that's how she said it. The fans weren't polite. You too old for this. You hating on him. You like his girlfriend. Leave them alone. All of that. All of it. So when she said that, if that's really how she said it, according to him, she see what everybody else see too. Cam playing in Tennessee. Oh, yeah. What you say now? Y'all don't want him in Tennessee. Shador added Jackson State. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know who that is. I just knew it was somebody that was. I don't get into it. I just want him to be happy, whatever he do, whoever he with. And I don't like the fact that this old cat is out here trying to embarrass these young people like that. That's not what you're supposed to be. An uncle, right? An uncle is supposed to guide the nephews. And if you don't have that type of relationship where you can guide the nephews, but you are not supposed to embarrass them, humiliate them, just like he put the girl up like that. I was like, she could sue you. You are supposed to make sure that they don't hurt themselves. You're not supposed to be the one doing the hurting. That's what I don't like. He doesn't see himself. He keeps saying he's like the big brother. No. You're not a big brother. You're not an uncle. You're an enemy. You out here moving like an enemy, and you want people to treat you like a friend. And then when they don't, because they see you for who you are, you run to your podcast looking for sympathy. And then your own fans tell you you got what you deserve because you tried to put him on blast and be messy when it comes to Bryce Young and Tyrese Maxey, the girl, and Jalen Green. And now you want to know why he don't want to talk to you. That sounds like a person who does not accept responsibility for anything. It's going to always be somebody else's problem. So after being ignored, that's when Cam received a media job. Why? Because he said condescending comments about Travis and Shador as he is doing at the present. I asked the same question. I said, now, why on earth would they bring that into? And I felt like it's because he has a strong following. And I used to be one of the people. But people have pointed out how messy it has gotten, and more and more, it's like, how could I even have followed somebody like this? At first and I'm thinking maybe they saw what we saw at first. But I do think now Stephen A is starting to see, but there's nothing he could do because one, it's a contract. Secondly, it looks bad if Stephen A get rid of Cam right now because he just brought him into the fold. So now I got to pay him out this contract, but you brought him here. So you got to move strategically to get rid of somebody who is just being messy. You got to be strategic when you just bring them in the fold and you realize, they're not who I thought they were. You got to be strategic, and that's what he got to do. It said, remember I didn't see the rest of your message, Clyde. It said the girl Tyrese Maxey and the football player dated, and Shador dated her in the past. Nobody was thinking about her until Cam brought her up. That's what Shador called Cam weird. That's the girl from Jackson State. Not that I'm trying to talk about it. So that goes to what I was saying. In my original video, I said, how you know this is mess? He didn't put a timeline on it. He just put it out there. It's like he wanted somebody to hear it and think it was like right now, like yesterday. And I say, it's messy because he didn't say the girl that Bryce Young dated. That's what I said. We didn't know if it was in college when he was at Alabama. We don't know if it was yesterday. We don't know if she really dating Tyrese Maxey. I said that. I'm like, they could have went to Top Golf and that could have been the end of it. She could have met Jalen Green in the 6th grade, but we don't know because he didn't tell us that. And that's what I said. He's being messy. You're being messy because you didn't put a timeline on this. You're trying to give somebody the impression that this is happening right now. And we knew Jalen Green was in a situation with somebody who was having his kid. And he didn't care about none of those people. He just wanted to put it out there about Shador. And I felt like he was trying to taint Shador's reputation to make us think he's this guy. That's bad. That's bad. This has nothing even to do with you. You weren't even involved in a situation. So that's what I mean by it's like he put it in the atmosphere because he knew somebody was going to hear about it. He knows Shador is popular. He knew people were going to try to pick up the story and run with it. But what really happened is his fans went in on him. And now that he got the ESPN, he took the mess over there. Stephen A. straightened him out once. And then what he do today, a few hours ago, he tried to come right back with it. Instead of asking the question at the end, he just slips it in. I don't know how much more Stephen A. gonna put up with. That's not journalism. That's just mess. It says, oh, okay, that's what you're talking about. Oh, from Jackson State. Yeah, that was messy. Because he made it seem like this has happened last week. That's the impression that he was given. He made it seem like the girl, I don't know, was currently in a relationship with Bryce Young. And then she went to Starbucks and ran into Tyrese Maxey and just never went back to Bryce Young. She just went to Tyrese Maxey. And he never said where Jalen and Shador fit in. I said then, you did all of that. You did all of that to try to put Shador on blast, and that's why Shador called him weird. And then he tried to force Shador to talk to him. That is beyond weird. That's toxic. So you're going to do something to try to destroy what I have going on. And then because I want to distance myself from you, you're going to try to force me, bully me to talk to you. That's toxic. Yep. So somebody asked me the other day how I felt about the hate. I felt like it's sickness, but it's toxicity. And that's why I said, Stephen A., I don't know, maybe he was like, oh, Cam got a strong fan base. Because people, when I first started watching Cam, I liked it because he does have some good insight, but he's not using his football insight. He's just being messy. It's like Shador got him in a chokehold. Shador's life has Cam Newton in a chokehold. And to his own detriment, he can't stop talking about Shador. And it looks bad. It's toxicity. It's toxic to try to force somebody that you tried to hurt to talk to you. And that's the part I don't know how much longer Stephen A. gonna put up with that. It said, Clyde said, moreover, visual means a lot. Cam has seen Shador and Travis embrace Ocho Cinco, Terrell Owens, and many other well-known stars, yet Cam was ignored. Right. But he did that on purpose. And the fact that what he thought was, well, I've been knowing Trav, so Trav gonna come to me. No, Trav, at the time they were like brothers. They probably still are. And I said, it wouldn't surprise me if Cam tries to use Travis because, they go in their separate ways. Maybe they talk, maybe they don't. People said that at the Alamo Bowl, you could see how aggressive Travis was being, yelling and screaming towards Shador. So I feel like I could see Cam trying to put a foot in there, a wedge between the two, because he's looking for somebody to agree with him, but he can't find nobody. Because he started all of this mess by saying people don't like Shador, and his fans said, no, you don't like Shador. We like Shador. Nobody has said they don't like Shador. Not one person that wasn't disgruntled or that wasn't jealous of something, but not one person. And it's just him. And I just, I just don't know how much Stephen A. is gonna keep putting up with this. I mean, I don't know if it's worth it at this point. You know, what you thought you were getting is not what you're getting. You're getting somebody that's can't help. It's like they addicted to being jealous of another person. They have already been toxic toward this other person, and they can't stop dragging this other person unjustly. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. It's not a good look for the show because it looks like Stephen A. just lets that happen. And as much as we know Stephen A. Does things for ratings or whatever. I didn't get the impression when he redirected him, he didn't appreciate that because I brought you onto this show and now you bringing a mess with you. We'll see. We'll see. Cam got 8 kids and he need to focus on. Well, that's what we talked about. You focusing on what he got going on, but you don't have no time. You don't have no time. And telling us your girlfriend was essentially saying you too hard on Shador. You was just trying to tell people, look, it's not his girlfriend. The reason why I'm picking at him. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. The current one. The one that's the model. That one. That's the one he seems to be bothered by more than anything. I think he used the situation with the other girl to make everybody think when we heard it that this was happening right now. And he's not really a stand-up guy because he wouldn't do something like that. That was the whole point of that. He just took Tyrese Maxey, Bryce Young, and Jalen Green and dragged them down at the same time, which is messy. That's what men said. That was wrong for you to throw all those people under the bus like that and put that girl picture on social media, on his podcast. He's too old for that. Too old for that. That's not mature behavior at all. So, well, we ended up being on here an hour, y'all. Hour and 14 minutes. So I guess I don't need the separate podcast. Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, I made a video. I better show it. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is game night. It's game night. So I made a video for y'all of some of the players, the pictures from our favorite players, Jimmy Horn Jr., Lajohntay, Will Sheppard. I was like, wouldn't it be something if Lajohntay and Will Sheppard ended up on the same team? Somebody out of the 12 or 14 Buffs, there's only 32 teams. Out of 12 or 14 Buffs going to the NFL this year, from round 1 all the way to practice squad, 2 Buffs will end up on the same team. That's what I think. 2 Buffs will end up on the same team. So I like the chemistry between Lajohntay and Will Sheppard. I say somebody gonna end up in Atlanta. So these are my 3 predictions. Okay, these are my 3 predictions. And because you can do a chat replay, we can always come back to this. Prediction 1. The Las Vegas Raiders, I'm reiterating, the Las Vegas Raiders will trade up to number 2 with the Browns to get that spot and draft Shador. I said Lajohntay and Jimmy Horn Jr. a late first round draft pick, late first round draft pick, second round. So round 1, round 2. I said Shilo, people thinking he won't be drafted. Yes, he's going to be drafted. Maybe mid to late second round. Same thing for Will Sheppard. I didn't get to see Cameron Simmons-Craig play, so I don't really know what he got going on. I haven't seen a scouting report on him, anything. I think he'll be drafted as well. But I don't know. I said most of the Buffs probably going to go overall second to third. That's what I think. Remember, Colorado's wide receiver core is elite. So, and it showed. That's exactly what showed in the Shrine Bowl. And don't forget, on defense, Chidozie Nwaku, who got his social media going. Y'all check out his YouTube page. My day in the life of getting ready for the NFL draft. I haven't seen Justin Mayers yet. I don't know if he has a page, but he did declare for the draft. He was also a standout in the Hula Bowl. So we had Will Sheppard was a standout. Lajohntay, Jimmy Horn Jr. We saw Shilo ball out. We saw all the attention he gets from the media. We saw all the videos with the highlights of him doing well. People saying he balled out. Chidozie, Justin Mayer. So that's quite a few guys. So I think they'll get in there. It's, I just think it probably will take every single round. And I think that's about it. I think I wanted to talk about the draft. where people might go. We'll probably focus on that more and more as we kind of, because you have to kind of look and see what the talent pool is, but I do think Shadua is going to the Raiders, and I think it's by way of a trade with the Browns. So that's what I think. Hey, welcome. I see y'all. Some of y'all just joining us. If Miss Mel said, yeah, Cam had widow energy. Yes, that is weirdo energy. That was weirdo energy. So we'll see what happens. All right, y'all. Game night tonight, 8 p.m. I guess I'm gonna go and get everything done out the way so we can have game night. Hopefully you'll get a chance to join us. If you got something going on, just put us on in the background. Stop by and say hi. If you can't stay, hit the like button, drop us an emoji. I appreciate it. There's 10 of us in here. I hope there's 10 likes. I can't see the likes, so hopefully y'all get the likes up. Remember the game. Remember what? What's that, Clyde? What'd you say? Remember the gene? The game? I'll be there. Okay, Miss Mel's. Excellent. All right. Hopefully we see you tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Get your culture up. Get your culture up. Remember the game. What does that say, Clyde? Remember the what? Remember the gene? Remember the game? Gracie, thank you for moderating today. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ms. Mills, for joining us tonight. It should be fun. Bring you some snacks. Y'all know there's a situation that we probably gonna talk about it tonight. We might. I don't like to stick to say what we're gonna talk about, because if there's breaking news between now and then, but there is something that I want to talk about. So it says I shall retype. Okay, I'll wait for you to retype. Thank you, Miss Males. We'll see you later. We'll see you later. Yeah, but it does. I was trying to find a graphic of like a sound with nails screeching on the chalkboard. I might find it by tonight. I actually have a soundboard. I just haven't used it yet. It's like I have all of this equipment. I haven't used it yet. I just have to put everything in rotation, one tech object at a time, just to make sure everything worked well together. I'm waiting for you to retype this, Mr. Marshall, so I can see what it is you're saying. Yeah, that's why I tell people, if our lives are over an hour, it's some gems in there. I know 3-hour lives are a lot, but yeah, you just put it on, you'll be like, what? They were talking about that? Yeah. Like we talked about, okay, I'm waiting for Clyde to type. So let's just go back to the conversation. So Pat Mahomes' brother had the internet in shambles yesterday. Well, in particular, the Kansas City Chiefs fans. He had them in shambles, and he liked to do TikToks. So, but he know what he doing. He know what he doing. So, he's something else. He just a fun character. That's all I can say. But he had them folks in Kansas City in shambles. I feel like they try to be embarrassed of him. But I mean, that's who he is. So if that's who he is and he's loud and he's proud about it, like, why y'all hating on him like that? Because I think they have this image that they have crafted of Pat Mahomes. Like, they tried to make Pat Mahomes be something he actually is not. And, he doesn't hide who his brother is. He doesn't hide who his father is. He might not be happy with maybe some of his father's decisions, but that's still his father. You know what I'm saying? So, it's funny how people want to come along and want to take you and try to mold you into what they want you to be. And they want you to leave your father and your brother behind because they're embarrassed by the brother and they don't want to acknowledge that that's exactly who you are, your father's son. I see it. Okay, I was waiting on you to retype that. Okay. And we just waiting on Clyde to retype a message. But that's something that the Pat Mahomes, his Jackson Mahomes situation, Pat Mahomes' dad, that's something that I've observed from just watching how people, like Pat Mahomes is immensely talented as an athlete, right? I don't know him as a person. I know he went to Texas Tech. That's about it. And I know he wasn't treated well there. I saw the documentary. But I've noticed that the organization, I don't know if it's the organization he's in, if it's the fan base, if it's the media, if it's the sports media, they keep trying to get a hold of him, right? And extract him from who he's related to. His father, he's his father's son. So his brother, that's his brother. And I feel like they want to try to separate Pat Mahomes from his people. And no. And to see his brother in the suite tells me that he doesn't distance himself from his brother, nor should he. And I feel like, people think, well, the media, if we come down on him enough. No, he's not. I don't know why people think that. Just because you don't like somebody's relative does not mean they're going to distance themselves from somebody that hasn't hurt them because you embarrassed by them. That's really what it is. Remember when the GM of the Giants visited Colorado on several occasions? No. As far as I know, the GM of the Giants is not. That wasn't the GM of the Giants, because I just saw the GM of the Giants. He's I forgot his name. Yeah, no, Clyde, that's not the GM of the Giants. That's not who the GM is for the Giants. There's a video circulating with the owner and the GM in a conversation. They look like they could be related. Have you seen the owner of the Giants? Do you know who that is? I'm talking to Clyde. Oh, that's what you were trying to say. Remember the GM. All right, Clyde, I'm going to have to get myself out of here. So hopefully you join us for game night. We'll probably be able to talk. And I'm told that we now have memberships. We have friends of What She Said and What She Said family. So there's 2 levels you can choose from. One level, obviously, family will have private live streams. We will have private live streams. So consider joining, getting a membership, maybe becoming family where we can actually talk in real time. And I can invite up to 10 people on screen. So these live chats with What She Said family are about to go up. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get myself out of here. I have to get ready for game night tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. So I have some errands to get out the way. This has always been fun. Thank y'all for the input. Ms. Mills, hopefully we see you tonight. You said you're gonna hang out with us and play games. Awesome. Clyde, consider joining us tonight for game night. We start at 8 and we end when we end. It is what it is. And we always say you can join us. If you can't stay, stop by and say hello. Again, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you can't stay, hit the like button on your way out and drop us an emojis. Just say hi. All right. That's it for me. All right, Clyde, we're going to catch you later. That's it for me. Thanks for watching What She Said.